Hello, welcome. In this video, we're going to learn a few things. The first is to use Code Snippets to create the drag and drop effects. The second is to use array and for loop to detect collision for a large number of objects. For collision detection, we can use two methods. One is hitTestObject, and we can use hitTestPoint for a maze game. Okay, now let's have a look how to create the drag and drop effect so that we can move this ball inside the maze and drop it. Yeah. Okay, first click on this one and go to, okay, I've commented out my old code. Okay, you go to Code Snippet, then you choose from actions, you will find drag and drop. Double click on drag and drop. So now you see it's created on the ball, this yellow ball, and then you can listen to mouse down effect. If you hear mouse is down, you start dragging. That start dragging means the ball is following the mouse around. And then you release it when the mouse up is detected and the ball will be released. Stop dragging. This is the place where you can enter write the code to do other things, like once you dropped it, what does it hit? Has it hit the target? And if it hit target, what do you do? If it doesn't hit target, what do you do? Yeah. So this is the area you can design the actions. So now this is the way to create the drag and drop. Because I have created the codes already, so I'm just release this code. So let my so I can use my codes. Okay, now this should be okay. Let's test it. Okay, see this one, drag and drop, that's fine. Yeah, I can drag and drop. Now next one we're going to learn, yes, when I drop, what do? If I hit the wall, yeah, let's see, it's telling me I'm hitting the wall. I'm inside the wall, it's free, nothing, yeah, it's fine. That's hit test evaluation. Now here, I can also do this one. If I drop this one onto the target, and that target disappeared, so something you can do. I can do this one as well. Once all the targets is disappeared, and I'm going to a new frame, game over. So I'm going to show that as well now. Okay, first one is how do I drop this one and check on the wall hitting or not. Go to there. That is this section. First, you need to add the event listener. This one, the event is enter frame, new frame. Every time you enter new frame, you check is the ball hitting anything. So if it does, when it does get into the new frame, you call the handler. The handler is go on, means continuing. Yes, continuous loop. And you check if wall hit test b.x.y and true. So this one is testing a point. Okay, and true. This one basically saying, okay, you have a ball, even though you have a bound box of square or rectangle, but I'm not using that. I'm only using the ball. With the maze, even though the bound box is square, a rectangle, I don't use that either. I'm only using the actual solid stuff, solid material, solid area. All the transparent areas are ignored. That's the hitTestPoint effect. Okay, it's transparent, it's not testing. Okay, now I've tested that already, so that works. How do I detect, how do I use for loop and array? Because now I've got three of this. I could test them one by one. If B hit rect, if B hit rect 1, if B hits rect 2, and imagine if you have hundreds of these objects, you have to test them 100 times. It's just writing 3 lines per object. Okay, that's not the way we want it. We want a easier, a better way, which is using the array. Okay, you put everything inside the array, and you let the array managing the entire army of objects, and you just delegate to it. So using array to help you. How to use it? First, you declare a variable called array. My array is a title, name, then the data type is array. You create the new object, okay? This is very common in object-oriented language, is Java, C#, and ActionScript we're using, okay? You are creating a new blank object. Inside the blank object, you are pushing into the stuff you want. So inside the array, now you would have the one rectangular, which is this one. Now, and then you push the next one, which is the second one, and the third one. So now inside the array, you have 3 elements. Those 3 elements can be tested, checked if they're hit by the ball in those codes. Okay, that's where we use a for loop. Okay, now if you have a look at this one, so array is a very special data structure. It has indexes to identify the location, and then you have a box to hold the contents. So that box is at location 0, because the index of arrays always start with 0. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you go up. Okay. For our actual array, we have at a 0 index we have rect, and then index 1 we have rect 1, and at index 2 we have rect 2. 3 items. So the length of array is 3 items. Okay. Now we're going to talk about the for loop. You have 3. I'm going to test all 3 one at a time. Okay, so the test is easy. B, the object, the ball, hit test object, where whatever is inside that array, I'm testing them one at a time. Okay, this expression, my array is a title, the name, and square box I, that's the index. At that index location, what is there? Give me that element. So you are testing B hitting that element. If it does hit, you do these things. If it doesn't hit, you bypass and you do the next round. Okay. Now, let's talk about the for loop a bit more. The for loop has got 3 sections separated by semicolon, another semicolon. The first part is the starting condition. The second part is the continuation condition, or you can sometimes call it ending condition. Okay, and the stepper means every time you move up or down, how much does it change? At the moment it's 1, increase by 1 at a time. Okay, for this one is saying for counter start with the 0, so index 0, and you check is that 0 less than the length of the array. The length is 3, 0 is less than 3, so the condition is met. Then you do this, check if the ball is hitting the one at a 0 index. If it does, you do make it invisible, or this is the trace output. This one make it invisible, disappeared. This one actually is remove it from the array. Okay, wherever it is, remove it by 1 element. Okay, so that is for 1 element. And once you finish the first one and you increase by 1, so from 0 increase by 1, that becomes 1. Is 1 less than 3? Because the length is 3. It's 2 because you removed 1. So 1 is still less than 2. So therefore, and you just yes, go and test it. All right. So you keep testing. When you finish all the elements in the loop, in the array, then done. Okay. This one is just testing. If the array is empty, then I'll just finish the game. Before I move away to a different frame, I need to cancel all the listeners. Otherwise, it causes confusion for the computer. Okay. So that's for array and for loop. Okay. So that's array, that's for loop. The start condition is I equal to 0, and the continuation condition is I less than 3, and the stepper is I plus plus, which means it's plus 1 every time. It's called increment by 1.